We want to determine the altitude or height of the plane using the diagram below. Notice the height of the plane and the ground form a right triangle, and therefore we can use the Pythagorean theorem to determine the altitude or height of the plane. Recall the Pythagorean theorem can be expressed as a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or c squared equals a squared plus b squared, where c is the length of the hypotenuse and a and b are the lengths of the two legs. The hypotenuse is always the longest side of the right triangle, which indicates in our case the hypotenuse c has a length of 890 meters, and it doesn't matter which leg is A and which leg is B. Let's let the height be leg A and the ground distance be leg B. Applying the Pythagorean theorem in the form of a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a equals h, b equals 800, and c equals 890, we have the equation h squared plus 800 squared equals 890 squared. And now we need to solve for h. The first step is to subtract the square of 800 on both sides. Simplifying, we now have h squared equals the square of 890 minus the square of 800. And now to solve for h, we can either raise both sides of the equation to the 1/2 power or take the square root of both sides of the equation. Let's go ahead and take the square root of both sides, and because we know h is positive, we only have to take the principal square root or positive square root of both sides. Simplifying, the square root of h squared is h. We have h equals the square root of the difference of the square of 890 and the square of 800. And now we'll go to the calculator to determine h. I'm using the T84. To enter the square root, we press second x squared, and then again we have 890 squared minus 800 squared under the square root, which equals 390. The plane has an altitude of 390 meters. I hope you found this helpful.